Hi, my name is Robbie, and welcome to Champions of Trauma. Today's conversation is geared towards anyone, of course, on this path of trauma and rape recovery. But this particular conversation is especially geared towards anyone who is finding a little bit of frustration as you're supporting anyone on this journey. And this conversation for me, I felt was particularly important as I've lost a number of people on my own path that were close to me, and some distance between some friends and family members, some by choice on my part, and some just a natural evolution that has, evolved greatly due to misunderstanding uh, to really what the differences are between what the act of rape is and what takes place with what trauma is. There's a lot of confusion between what getting over a rape is and what the act of a trauma is and what those processes are. So I thought it was a good idea to maybe make a video that was maybe portraying a better vision of what it is from the perspective of someone who has actually gone through a trauma, and giving a little bit of clarity. Just recently, November of this year, 2015 marked 4 years since the night of my attack and my rape, a group rape that took place. And, I really celebrate it. And I do use that word intentionally. I really do celebrate it. Quite a few good things have happened to me due to that experience. But as I thought about that evening, the events of that night have really gotten very small to me. And that's what really kind of triggered this whole thought process as I thought about what most people experience or what many people experience. Rape for many people is actually a very short amount of time. And often we hear, when is so and so, when are you, when are they going to move past this event, this evening, that thing that took place, that date that went wrong, that Saturday night? When are they going to stop, hanging on to that event that I always refer to my rape as an event, because to me that's what it was. It was an event that took place. For me, it was like a car crash. It was this thing that took place. It was the catalyst for everything that has affected me since then. The rape is something that I own. It's a part of my life, like anything else that has taken place from birth on. It is a part of me. Um, and I have no shame about it. It is, simply a part of my life at this point. It is no longer something I am getting over. It is simply something that took place. The rape itself, for many people, is a 5-minute act. It is a 15-minute act of violence. It is something that takes place generally in less time than you spend in a grocery store. Uh, for me, it was a bit longer than many people, and I'm certainly not discounting the many people who experience things that are ongoing, reoccurring. Certainly, there are situations that are within the home that are really kind of brutal, that do go on for years. And there are situations that are, kidnapping situations. But the average rape is less than a half hour, often 5 minutes. So, this idea of when are you going to get over this moment in time is really not what we're talking about. What we're getting over, if we're getting over anything, which we're really not, what we're working with, what we're learning to live with, what we're evolving with, what we're embracing, what we're incorporating into our lives and bettering ourselves with, just like anything else in life, is the trauma that starts to kick in at the moment of the impact of a rape. So there's a couple of things I'd like to clarify. One is one that actually took me a long time to understand. Uh, Rape is not sexual. I really kind of didn't get that. I didn't even use the word rape until 6 months after my attack. I was raped by 11 people in November of 2011, and it wasn't until May of 2012 that I used the word rape for the first time. And it was like a light bulb went off. Classic example of why people don't go to the police, why they don't go to a hospital, why they don't tell a friend, a lover, a husband, a wife, a parent. I was clueless. And it took me another year and a half before I even started putting the pieces together to what really happened completely. Rape, for me, I didn't even pull together until 6 months later just how brutal things were. And that's when it hit me for the first time. There was nothing sexual after the first 5 minutes about that. So we're not talking about a sexual thing. We're not talking about a date. It may be something that even starts out sexual and goes completely haywire. So we're not talking, I can't emphasize this enough, about something that we're to just dismiss. There's no greater insult than telling someone to get over this thing called rape. This weekend that went bad, this night in a bar that went bad, getting jumped in your car, getting jumped in a parking lot and forgetting about it and getting back to work, getting back to your family, getting back to your old life. That is, for a fact, one of the number one reasons, one of the number one triggers that brings someone right back to the ground zero of their trauma, that completely victimizes them. So a little bit of loving food for thought and understanding why someone may have a problem with certain approaches when you're trying to help them. And certain language may keep bringing them back to this like really rough patch, and you don't understand why they're not moving forward. Please understand any language in this conversation. I really mean from a place of love, and I'm really putting it out there in hopes of helping you, helping anyone, help someone else move forward in a better way. It's absolutely my authentic intention. One of the other things that I come across, and I know this is something that, although I speak mainly from my own experience, this is something that many people come across, is that us as survivors and people really winning back our lives are often expected to rebound into society at a particular pace. And idealistically, that is such an awesome concept. And it'd be really great if there was a time frame for that. And unfortunately, there is no timeline for that. There is another fact, there is no timeline for rape and trauma recovery. There is no mending period that is set in stone. There is no expectation. Each and every person, not only through the series of events that takes place for each individual, is so vastly different between the setting, how vulnerable each person may be, what the situation is, the number of people that may be involved, if there are weapons involved, how sensitive the person is, what their moral upbringing is, emotional or mental stability may be. There are so many factors that play into each individual's situation. There is absolutely zero timeline that can be set for a recovery, not even an estimation. There's no medication that can help someone on the recovery path. For myself, the only thing that can really help is openness, willingness, one's own ability to participate, and as far as outside sources, compassion, gentleness, love, support, and really being intuitive to someone else's needs are really some of the best tools. There are certainly tools that have helped me, which I'll certainly talk about in other talks. But there are no guidelines. The only medications that are out there are really to help with flashbacks, not even flashbacks, but with the nightmares. And those alone can be really intense.